Well, thank you for that introduction, and thank you for coming to hear us talk about ranked choice voting. We're Rank My Vote. We're here to bring ranked choice voting to Michigan. If you haven't already done a ranked choice voting election, you can use the URL code or use the QR code there. It'll take you to a mock election. Normally we go through that, but it takes a while to get through that. So we'll just go through something a little bit quicker today. Again, so we're going to talk first about what is ranked choice voting. We're going to talk then about how ranked choice voting improves on plurality or the current election system, which is single choice voting. We'll talk about our plan. We've put together a constitutional amendment proposal. We need to get 600,000 signatures this year and 2 million votes next year if we want to bring ranked choice voting to Michigan. And then hopefully we'll have a little bit of time for Q&A. So like everyone to go ahead and just think for a second, what's the first word or two that comes to mind when you think about politics today?
Hellish.
Corruption. What's that?
Hellish.
Hellish.
Divisive.
Divisive.
Degradation.
Degradation.
Hope.
Hope? Oh, wow. That's a rare positive comment about politics today.
Only the U.S.?
The U.S., yes.
All right. Well, hopefully.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad there's some positive comments.
The night is darkest before the dawn.
So Pew Research did a study across America, across ideological lines, across geographic lines, and these were the words that most often came up. The bigger the circle, the more often that word was used in describing politics today. So we see a lot of words there that divisive, corrupt, broken, polarized, self-centered, confusing. We heard a few of these just now. I think we can agree that politics today can be improved. I think that can be something we can agree on. Some of these words, we see trends saying that these words are getting worse. I can show you studies where the numbers here behind the number of Americans saying these words is very high numbers, higher than they've been in decades. So we don't think it's just this, it's just today. We don't think it's just anything. We think we have a broken system. In our system, majorities get split. We have polarization, divisiveness, instability. Politicians do not represent their community, and voters are disenfranchised. Here's an example election that's not too far from here. This is District 13 here in Michigan. This is 2022. This was the Democratic primary. In the Democratic primary in this particular district, whoever wins the election because it's a very blue district. Sri Tanadar won the election with 28% of the vote and won representation of that community. 72% of the voters voted against Sri Tanadar. He is the only non-Black candidate in a majority Black district. So we look at this and say this is probably not representative of necessarily what that community really supports. Ranked choice voting helps change this and helps prevent this. I'm going to give you a quick explainer to kind of get us going along a little faster. This was done by the Academy Awards, who, by the way, use ranked choice voting to vote for their movie winners. Oops.
Nominations for Academy Awards are a little different from the average winner-takes-all voting system. When Academy members fill out their Oscars ballot, they use a voting system that employs the fairest possible outcome for nominations and for who wins the Oscar for Best Picture. It's called ranked choice voting, otherwise known as preferential voting. Here's how it works. Let's imagine we're trying to pick the best movie snack. We've got popcorn, candy, chocolate, and soda. Each voter will rank the snacks in order of preference, starting with their favorite, followed by their second, third, and fourth choice. Once all of the first choice votes are counted, if the snack receives the majority of the votes, it's automatically the winner. If no one gets over 50%, in a winner-take-all system, candy would still win. But in a ranked choice system, the snack with the fewest votes is eliminated. So if soda was your first choice, your vote now goes to your second choice. Still no winner. Let's eliminate the next snack and redistribute its votes. Uh-oh, the second place choice on this ballot was already eliminated. Let's take their third choice instead. Good thing they completed their full ballot. This process continues until one snack reaches 50%. Yay, we have a winner. Popcorn. The majority has spoken.
Oops. Sorry, I'm trying to move on. There we go. So any basic questions on how ranked choice voting works? Fairly self-explanatory. Just continue to voting until someone gets to a majority. Here is an example of what a ranked choice ballot would actually look like. Candidates are down listed on the left, and you get to choose your choices from first to fourth across the top. In our proposal, you can, if you want to only choose one, you can choose one just like you do today. You don't have to choose all four if you don't want to, but if you do that, you're giving up your own power as a voter. As a voter, the more preferences you express, the more power you have, the more influence you have on an election. Candidates need to campaign, and as you saw, Popcorn would not have won that first round under first choice only voting. But when second choice and second preferences were expressed, Popcorn was able to win that election. That's how candidates have to campaign under a ranked choice election. They can't campaign only to someone's first place vote. They have to campaign to second and third place votes, which forces the candidates to appeal across a broader community. Here's another example election, another fake election, obviously. We have Luke Skywalker here competing against Darth Vader. And in this particular jurisdiction, looks like most people support the light side of the Force. So Luke Skywalker wins this in a normal single choice election, 60-40, not a problem. But what happens if Leia decides to run? Now, Leia and Luke have pretty much the same kind of ideologies, right? So the problem is now Leia is she's not going to pull very many votes from the dark side of the Force. She's only going to pull votes from the light side of the Force. So as a result, she and Luke split the light side of the Force. Under plurality, we see that Darth Vader wins this election. Darth Vader didn't gain more votes. He still has less than 50% of the total votes. Yet he wins this election because the majority of people in the community split their votes. So he still does not represent the majority, does not represent greater than 50%. Now let's take a look at what ranked choice voting would do. Again, two candidates. Luke Skywalker gets the majority of the votes, he wins. But what happens under ranked choice voting? Like we saw in the example, no one has more than 50%. Since no one has reached that threshold, we eliminate the last place competitor. In this case, it would be Luke Skywalker. And we can be pretty confident that most people voting for Luke Skywalker would vote for Leia second. So Leia now ends up with 60% of the vote, and she wins the election. What's kind of key here is that if you're a Star Wars nerd like I am, you know that Leia is really the best candidate of those three. Under single choice voting, Leia can't win. The best candidate for the community cannot win under single choice voting. Yet under ranked choice voting, she wins. Under single choice voting, what would really have happened? We would have said to Leia, please don't run, or she would have self-selected herself out of the race. We never would have had the opportunity to have the best leader for this community in this race. Oops, hit the wrong button. There we go. So ranked choice voting builds a healthier fundamental democracy. There's no more spoiler effect. Everyone is encouraged to run. You bring more candidates into the election. You bring more voices into the election under ranked choice voting. It gives you more diverse candidates and empowers broadly appealing candidates from any party. To win an election, you have to get more than just first place votes. You need second place votes. So you need more people to voting for you. That again empowers broadly appealing candidates. On the voter side, it gives you more options, allows you to express more preferences. You can vote for somebody, and you also can still vote against somebody. As opposed to today, you have your sort of strategic voting, like, okay, I really like candidate A, but I can't vote for that candidate because he's not likely to win, so I'm going to vote for candidate B. But the problem is, You're not really voting your conscience. You're not voting for who you really want. In districts where their vote doesn't matter because they are voting, say you're a blue voter in a red district or a red voter in a blue district where your vote has really no consequence on the election. It's very discouraging to vote under those circumstances, but under ranked choice voting, you're encouraged to vote because your second choice may still make the difference in that election. 17% more ballots have meaningful impact. Again, you can vote for third parties, not worry about also not having an impact on the election. And the bottom line is this third bullet here. Voters using ranked choice voting are satisfied and think it's easy. Look at these jurisdictions: New York City, Utah, Portland, and Virginia Republicans. That's a pretty wide arrangement of ideologies, all supporting ranked choice voting. And on the right, you can see 95% find it simple, 82% find it easy, and 91% understood it. It's a simple system. It's easy to vote in. When RCV is used, candidates use fewer negative or neutral words and more positive words during debates. Ranked choice voting, getting a last place vote in ranked choice voting is really going to be difficult to win an election. You want to avoid last place votes. So what's the best way to get last place votes? Campaign negatively. Campaign on character. That turns people off from you. If you say that your rival is a bad person, the people supporting that rival are going to now vote you last. And that doesn't work very well in ranked choice voting. Oops, didn't mean to go back. My bad. Candidates engage in fewer personal attacks, focus more on the issues, and candidates collaborate more. If you look at the candidates A, B, C, and D, look at A, B, and C representing the light side of the force, D representing the dark side of the force. A and B, under the current election system, would be incentivized to campaign against each other and attack each other with personal attacks because they're trying to steal voters from each other. Under ranked choice voting, they actually would collaborate. Here's the current status in America. Statewide, it's being used in Maine and Alaska, the two red states. All the purple states have jurisdictions using ranked choice voting. That's 60 jurisdictions. The largest one is New York City is using it. 5 new cities in 2024 are now using ranked choice voting, including Washington, D.C. The blue states are states that have runoff voting. They ask people to come back for an election to vote for if someone hasn't reached 50%, because they do have a majority requirement, the same requirement that we have in ranked choice voting. But they actually give ranked choice voting ballots to people who are overseas or from military. So they're actually using ranked choice voting for people who have a better reason for not coming back for an election. But they still spend over $100 million running the runoff elections, which is a lot more money than it would cost to implement ranked choice voting. In Michigan, we are green because we have 5 cities who want ranked choice voting, have voted for it, but they can't implement it because the ballot language, even though that we have a constitutional Home City Rule Act, which says that cities are allowed to use what kind of election system they wish. But unfortunately, it's not being enforced because of ballot language, which is, it's like legally questionable, but that's the position that we're in. So what's our plan to fix all this? We want a state constitutional amendment. Here's all the races that we'd like to have for ranked choice voting for general election: gubernatorial, presidential, U.S. Senate and House, Secretary of State, Attorney General, and Michigan House and Senate. These will also be voted for in the primaries, except for Secretary of State and Attorney General will still be nominated by their parties as they currently are. Here's the details of our proposal. We're going to empower localities to choose their election types. So cities are no longer going to be denied the ability to choose their election type. We're going to basically enforce the Home City Rule Act. We want to enact ranked choice for all single seat elections. for major party primaries and the general election. We want to enable all candidates to run as an independent. We want to allow straight ticket voters to actually rank their parties. So you can go, if you want to go in and just vote for, say, a straight Democrat or straight Green Party or straight Republican or straight Libertarian, you can do that. But you also can rank the parties if you wish under our proposal. And finally, we want to require the legislature to allocate funding for election worker training and voter education. Basically, we don't want an excuse that we don't have the money to implement it. How do we get there? We're finalizing the ballot as we speak. We'll be wrapping that up within the month. And we want to get the ballot signature requirements out there by 2025. We'll need 600,000 signatures this year. 600,000 is basically, that's enough to account for more than the minimum number in case any ballot signatures get thrown out. And finally, in 2026, we hope to vote for it. It'll be coinciding with an election where we anticipate that the governor will win the election without a majority vote. We're going to have 3 very strong candidates for governor. And so there's a very good chance that whoever wins will not represent the majority of Michiganders. I mean, they might, but there's a chance that it won't. So under Rank My Vote, we are nonpartisan, grassroots, volunteer-driven, nonprofit, and we're 5 of 5 in cities passed here in Michigan. So we need your help. It's just that simple. We're volunteer, grassroots-driven. We are not big money funded like some other states tried to do. We want to educate people and get people to vote for it because they know it's the right thing to do. So here's our website. Any donation is helpful. The more people we have donating, the more donations we bring to our movement. Volunteer, get our weekly newsletter, attend our upcoming events. You can do all of that through rankmyvote.org. We have presences on all the social websites, and you can go ahead and just use the QR code if that's easier for you. So that's the end of the presentation. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask about ranked choice voting?
I have some questions, but I don't know if that's going to be part of the presentation, if it's being taped. I don't know how that works.
I think you can go ahead and ask.
So I remember ranking my choices in the primary for judges. Does that make sense, what I've done that?
You would have voted for multiple judges?
Yeah, so that was, I mean, that was an example of ranked choice voting, right?
Not really, because you weren't ranking the judges. You were just choosing how many, like you might have chosen 2 judges out of 4 or 5 or something.
Okay. But I got to vote for more than one.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's a little.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. And
Well, I
yeah.
understand that.
Okay.
But at least you give a flavor of being able to vote for more than one.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then, so this year, ballot canvassers won't have to worry about just doing it in our county, right? That still stands where you can get people from any county. Same ballot.
As I understand it, yes.
Yeah.
Well, they sign the right.
So that'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good. And then, as we're talking about raising money, I told a couple friends, I said, well, depending on what your income tax return is going to be, you might want to say to yourself, well, okay, I can do that. And then, so in terms of questions, like I said, I didn't have any questions. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I know, I'm sorry. In there, you said why the cities can't do it because of ballot language? What do you mean, ballot language?
The ballots have to meet a certain requirement in terms of the way they're laid out, and ranked choice voting ballots don't meet that criteria. To me, it's a bit like someone turns in a correct answer on a test, but they missed a couple periods
So
and they're not being allowed to turn it in.
State to make that change?
We can basically, we'd have to take it to the courts, and we could do that, but that would cost time and money that we would rather
But
take.
It would be she or he that would be doing that, the Secretary of State.
I'm sorry, repeat that, please.
Would it be the Secretary of State that would have to, or is there like an
It would
election
be a combination
commission?
of the Secretary of State, the Attorney General's office, and our own elected representatives having
Okay,
to
so
change.
everybody gets.
Yeah, there's a lot of complicated factors in making that
Okay.
work out, mostly lawyers.
Thank you.
Yeah, basically. Yes, thank you. One of our OG representatives so she was here when they were actually going through that probably, huh?
Yes.
Yes. I always post that. That's it?
I have one question.
Sure.
So let's say if, especially because we're on a college campus right now, if you're a college student and you don't have extra money to donate, you're taking 20 credits because you're trying to graduate early, so you don't have a lot of extra time on your hands either. Is there anything simple that college students can do to help get ranked choice voting enacted?
Well, in volunteering in general, we have actually a college field team dedicated to just college campuses. We have representatives at most college campuses. We don't have one here yet. So that would be a good opportunity to help us get going with that. Get to work with other college students and get to work with college students across the state. So that would be a lot of fun. And, you know, everyone has a difficult amount of time to work with, I'm sure, but at the same time, it could be a lot of fun and could get a chance to really reach out within your own campus. I know that we actually had one of our presenters got to present to a U of M Dearborn class, a political class. So just an opportunity for us to speak to more people. I'd like to think of us as like Johnny Appleseed, planting ranked choice voting messages throughout the state, because the more people get exposed to it, the more they like it. That's a great question. Thank you.
And you have Dearborn and Henry Ford, and a few other colleges are in this Democracy Institute.
Oh,
So if you could contact one of the teachers, they could probably do something. I mean, I don't know if they would be able to get into something specific like that, but and the other thing is, you know, always carry one, you know, a petition with you. You never know who you're gonna, you know, especially now that we can do any counting. You know,
I call them coffee shop conversions, and they're very useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're going to Easter or you are with your family celebrating Eid, right? Those are the times where education is really important and those seeds can be planted, right? So whether
absolutely.
you're waiting for your professor to get to class and you're all standing in the hallway and you happen to talk about ranked choice voting, or you're with your family and everybody's getting grouchy about politics, if you say, hey, I've got a way we can solve this, right?
And as a student, you actually have access to lots of groups.
Yep.
So opportunity to talk to groups and have someone come present to your groups, or simply sometimes there's this opportunity to set up a little table somewhere and say, hey, do you want to learn more about ranked choice voting? So it doesn't take a lot of time and effort. Yes, sir?
So I know you said you were finalizing the ballots this month. So they'll come out some point after that. Do we know when they would be due by with the signatures in order to have this on the next election?
Sure. So the plan is to start a signature collecting on Memorial Day. And the way it works, you have 180 consecutive days of signature gathering. So you can pick any 180 days. So if the first day you get no signatures, you can start the next day, if that makes sense. But typically your first day you have a lot. So typically it's 180 days from that point, and sometime in November, I don't know the exact date, if we use 180 days for that.
But if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll definitely be getting the date.
For sure.
And in terms of learning, I guess I like to use the word normalizing ranked choice voting. So I just did this again for my book club, and I use a website, and it's called rankedchoices.com. And so it's so easy to set up, it's free. So I've got a list of 13 books, and so far 6 people have done it. And I told them, this is why I'm doing it, because I want you to get used to it. And everyone that's responded, I think there's 5 of them, have said, hey, I love this, it was so easy. So, you know, try to normalize it. If you're trying to figure out where you want to go somewhere, lucky people, you know, list everything and rank them.
We rank things every day.
Yeah.
We really do. And there's nothing really unusual about that. I think my time is up. So,